such as autistic spectrum disorders and the men's rights movement. In these movements, in a lot of ways, I was a part, very indirectly and never involved in groups, of entertaining men's rights, MGTOW philosophy. And I saw this philosophy trap other people in ways to where they never took accountability for why they felt terrible, for why they felt miserable, for why things just stayed still, stagnant, or never changed. And I was a part of that in my life. And I saw how it ripped apart people I was friends with who just hurt my personal development because I chose that life. And it always seems like the men's rights movement is more about blaming people instead of changing patterns of your own behavior that lead you to get hurt. And you need to learn who to trust, who not to trust. Yes, by trial and error, but understanding your own patterns and your way of life. So, the truth is, there's also autism spectrum disorder, and yes, I think it's very real. I've even been told myself since I was in college. I'm in my mid-30s right now. Some people have suggested that I'm on the spectrum. I might have Asperger's. I like to say blunt things that come to my mind, and I've learned how to cover that up more and more as I go. And I grew up in a reclusive life for the most part until I was about 16. And then when I came back home from college, I was taking care of my mom, and I blamed that for a lot of my problems. She had a lot of health problems, but the thing is, the responsibility lied in me to find ways to have control of my own life, control of my own destiny, and I never set those boundaries. I let myself play the victim, and I could have gotten out of my situation if I had just learned calm, cool, and collected. And calm, cool, and collected, when you learn it, is one of the best things that you can use to conquer your life professionally, personally, and spiritually. And when you learn calm, cool, and collected, it helps heal your life and all that. It really does. And I know my hair's a mess right now, but I just got tired of this hat. So you want to learn calm, cool, and collected. That's the first place to start. And I feel like learning that can help you escape the perils of MGTOW and men's rights movement. And you want to wonder why you're so lonely, why you're so miserable, why you're so sad, why sometimes you just wish that you didn't have this life, that you daydream of being somewhere else, and you just don't want to be you. I can be John Kay. I can be who I am. I can be anything as long as I have calm, cool, and collected in my life and around me. And even when it's not, remember those 3 C's. Remember that. Because that is the best way to just do better. And a lot of us will put ourselves in positions where we're miserable and we feel like that's the only way of life for you. And it isn't. So, saying this merely as a way to help, and maybe as a way to explore my own life. But I got myself help. And yes, who knows if I'm on the spectrum? I don't know. And I'd rather not know. Because it's not going to help me if I know. It won't help me. What will help me is if I have discipline and structure, and I take responsibility for myself. And that is one of the biggest ways that you can help yourself. But if you feel like you can't help yourself, talk and reach out to a professional. And if you don't have a lot of money, there's people who might help you for free. And there's ways to get that. And not necessarily in a welfare kind of way. Maybe someone who's experienced or is a family friend. Maybe somebody who is a pastor or a spiritual advisor, even if you don't have spiritual beliefs. The thing is that there's limitless opportunities, and if something doesn't work, just move on to the next thing, to the next person. And right now I'm very blessed to be learning and to be sharing. And not everything works for the same person. But really, before you get involved in anything, look at yourself in the mirror. Take responsibility for yourself. Don't go blaming your parents or your ex or people you had romantic interest in for your problems. Don't go blaming them because you made the choice to go down that road, even if you didn't feel like you knew better at the time. Don't overanalyze things. Know the patterns. Know what you've done. But do not overthink it. When you overthink it, you don't do things. You don't go and choose a way of independence. Just remember, calm, cool, and collected. That's the best advice I ever got in my life. Ever. And I mean that. Because one day, if you keep blaming others, and I've lived a very hard story and a very hard road in some ways, and I'm not going to deny that, but I did not take some of the responsibilities that I should have, but I should not go back into the past and always, always blame myself. And no one can be perfect at all. But what I do know is that you can change your own life. Don't wait until the people that you blamed in the past have died on you. Don't go spending the holidays or this day or the other and worry about what somebody else is going to say. Don't go worrying about the opinions of your father, mother, boyfriend, girlfriend, brother, sister, cousin, uncle, aunt, whoever has it. Don't go caring. Don't go giving a damn about that. Go do the right thing morally. Go live a life that does not harm yourself or others. But don't go always apologizing when you've done nothing wrong. And I'm not perfect. And I've learned and I've made some mistakes. But I'm not going to delve into that because I know it in my heart. You know it in your heart. What you've done to hurt yourself. What you've done that you don't like about yourself. What you've done to put yourself in a toxic place. Because really, being calm, cool, and collected, and learning that, and I know it's not easy, learn the 3 C's. And that's how you take accountability, and that's how you don't get stuck being in the men's rights movement, or in any movement, or in anything, or blaming an autism spectrum disorder for all your behaviors. Because I don't know if I have that spectrum disorder. I don't care. I don't want to know. I don't give 2 shits. If you want to say that about me, I don't care. And I don't want to know. And no one really wants to know. But I will never decide to know until I decide I want to. And even then, I can say it's pure nonsense. And I'm not saying don't deny autism. I'm not saying don't deny these things. Don't go denying it doesn't happen. But don't go blaming a condition or whatever it is or being a product of your environment. Don't go blaming the past for who you are today. Because because you're not going to always know the truth or overanalyze it or whatever you do. Don't wait until somebody dies. Don't wait. Don't wait. Because even though it wasn't too late for me, losing my mom